apparently there was a fight that broke out. What are even the timestamps on this? Miss Lala on the 25th at 12:54 p.m. said, fuck ICE. And Rev at 5:25, 12:54. And then several hours later, Rev posts, LARPs is a 1950s VTuber, hates current federal agency that is more tame than any law enforcement agency of the time period included in her LARP. This is like such a basic response. How did anyone get mad? Like if I was in this position, I wouldn't be because I understand what ICE is doing. But if I was in this position, my response would be, lol, look at this guy thinking that because I LARP that I'm from the 1950s, I have to embody everything in the 1950s. Like what? It's literally just a Twitter fight. Come the fuck on. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? And then, like anyone posting something retarded, I'm sure that this lady doesn't actually do politics for her content. And I am of the opinion that VTuber, content creator, whoever the fuck you are, you can have whatever opinion you want, as long as it's not cheering on people getting killed or calling for more violence overtly, right? Like there's obvious caveats there. You can have whatever fucking opinion you want. However, if you're a non-political creator and you decide to say something political, you have to understand what comes with that. It's not gonna be a cacophony of everyone sucking your dick like you're used to. There's gonna be fucking pushback. There's going to be people who disagree with you, and there are going to be unhinged people that go further than disagree with you and start sending you gore of Russian soldiers being blown up by Ukrainians in your DMs. Sometimes that happens. And so when people have this like public spat on Twitter, it's like, this isn't harassment. No one's sending any community anywhere. That you're pissing in the ocean of piss, buddy. Like she decided to unzip her pants and piss out fuck ICE. And then she got 3K retweets, however many quote retweets, and a bunch of replies of people pissing right on back. And look how few replies there even are. Never mind, it was just loading. No, it stopped. Oh, okay, never mind. I was like, I did look like there was a lot of replies, but then it just kept loading. Okay, so she did lock them after a few hours, so some people were commenting. Another thing that non-political creators don't understand is when you lock your replies when you make a political statement, that is a sign that you are a buck broken cuck. That is a sign that you cannot defend your position. It doesn't matter why you thought you actually locked your replies. That's what it looks like on political Twitter. As soon as you lock your replies, all of those people disagreeing with you are gonna do both a victory lap and you're gonna get more people criticizing you. And not only are you gonna get people criticizing you from the opposite side who are against your political opinion, you're gonna get people on your side criticizing you because why aren't you continuing to stand up for what I believe in? Why did you lock your replies instead of showing those chuds what's up? You have to be ready for pushback, especially with political stuff. Heck, when you defended Kirsche during the whole slander campaign, you had someone come into your chat and try to dox you, and you had 2 viewers. Yeah, like, people are fucking insane. People are actually fucking insane when it comes to this stuff. So, like, she is free to say whatever the fuck she wants, but claiming that someone sent their community after you because you had a shit take that people disagree with, that's wild. That is wild. It's not like she's out here getting libelous Vice articles written about her. And so after she locked replies, when was this? It was 5:25. He posted this at 5:39. So like not 5:25 to 5:39. That's like 14 minutes. 14 minutes. It took her 14 minutes from when Rev posted this to him noticing that she locked replies. All right. Not a very long period of time. I don't really understand how that could be like, someone sent people here, I'm being harassed, help. This is public. You pissed. He pissed back. What is this? This smells weird. I do not fucking get it. And she responded here and said, if you want to have a conversation about my actions, then come to me and let's have a conversation. My post wasn't directed towards you, and I don't know what I have personally done to you to warrant a targeted reaction about me to your community. To the point that I'm receiving slurs from your community members. First of all, how do you know they're his community members? Second of all, he doesn't control his community members. Everyone with any saneness says don't harass other people. If you piss in the ocean of piss on Twitter, a public place, and someone pisses back at you, that's not harassment. They're not posting like your docs information. They're not posting that they're gonna fucking kill you. They're just disagreeing with your opinion. And also, what is this? What is this like? I don't know what I've done to warrant a targeted reaction. How is this a targeted reaction? He's responding to like the shit that you said. It's all public, m'lady. I'd like to have a conversation. Proceeds to lock replies. Like, yeah, it sucks when some people say shitty things in your replies. If you're going to say something political, you're gonna have to get fucking used to that. I get called shitty things on like an hourly basis. That's just what happens. And then she quotes something in the Bible, Ephesians 4:32, be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another as God in Christ forgave you. You're a man of faith, correct? What a weird thing to say. Like, I have no idea if she's Christian or not, but like her saying this complete with a Bible quote makes me feel like that meme. The like, oh, well, I have nothing but contempt for your belief, so I don't believe in your backward ways, but if I quote your scripture to you, surely you'll do what I want. Like, I have no idea if that's what she was going for, but that's what it sounds like. And once again, this is also fine. She pissed, he pissed back at her, she's pissing back, and people are pissing back at her once again. It's all just a pissing competition because it's Twitter and it's public. You don't have to like my opinions, Rev, but you also don't have to antagonize your community against me. Well, you know what, Lala? You don't have to post your opinions on fucking ICE. You don't do politics. So why did you feel the need to post fuck ICE? Is it for virtue signaling? Is it because you thought it was easy engagement and easy money dollars because you get a check mark? You didn't foresee the amount of backlash you would get? I was like, what do you, he doesn't have to reply to you just as much as you don't have to post that shit. What are we doing here? What kind of argument is this? I love how she says fuck ICE and then quotes scripture. She thought it was a popular opinion. And it's like, once again, she is just as free to post fuck ICE as much as she wants to. But that doesn't mean that you can be some sort of like moral arbiter to be like, well, it's fine for me to say fuck ICE, but you're not allowed to have an opinion on me saying fuck ICE. That's not how it works in the piss ocean, Miss Lala. I don't know if like Rev quote retweeted it or what. Yeah, he quote retweeted it. Your conversation was saying fuck ICE and now you're trying to weaponize my faith against me poorly. And he quotes Romans 13:1-7. Let everyone be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except that which God has established. The authorities that exist have been established by God. Consequently, whoever rebels against the authority is rebelling against what God has instituted, and those who do so will bring judgment on themselves. You made a public post and people disagreed with you. You tell people to have a conversation, but you immediately lock your replies when faced with criticism. Pointing out hypocrisy isn't unkind. I'm not antagonizing my community against you. If you want to play that game, just look at the replies from your own supporters toward me. And this is pretty much what I said as well. Like, if we want to play that game, she's saying that some mean things were said to her in response. But in response to all of this, people that could be claimed to be from her community are trying to struggle session a sponsor to ruin Rev financially. Which is way worse than just saying mean things. So her and her community would look worse if we played by their rules. Rev finishes, you make an obnoxious virtue signaling post with no depth whatsoever, you got backlash. If you don't like that, then maybe don't dive into these topics publicly. Which is exactly what I'm saying. She can say fuck ICE all she wants. That's absolutely her right to do so. But trying to claim harassment when people disagree with her is fucking wild. Have the opinion you want, post the opinion you want, but be prepared for people to fucking disagree with you. Correct them if they misquote you. Correct them if they're saying something you're not. But you can't complain when people actually tell you, hey, I disagree. So I said, I remember this VTuber from being on Caroline Kwan and Will Neff's Next Big Streamer game show. It was sponsored by Progressive, the insurance company, and had literally no engagement on any social media. Very weird show. And there were some people confused here. Let's see, where is it? What does that have to do with this in particular? I don't know how this is me cooking or this is me pointing out something weird. Someone else saying, I promise you can't give a logical reason for why you support ICE. Kinda strange. Kinda strange. What a weird and irrelevant thing to bring up. It's not weird and irrelevant because it's two people who spout commie nonsense, holding a game show that had zero interaction, having streamers on the show saying that one of the streamers that we pick is going to be the next top streamer. And Lala was on that show. So this looks astroturfed as fuck, possibly based on political shifting. And she's also a Twitch ambassador. A Twitch ambassador running for the next big streamer seems a little weird. Seems a little odd. And then apparently, like, hours later, this entire thing blew up into, like, a ridiculous situation. And then there were a bunch of seething V-tweeters saying, after the events of the last 24 hours, I will personally be stepping down from being an advanced GG partner. I'm grateful for the opportunity they gave me, seeing my face on a tub and the many peers I'll get to continue collaborating with in the future. But I cannot and will not be associated with the individual who attacked Lala yesterday, who is so openly hateful about so many things. I stand with Lala on every last part of this, and I'm sure lots of other opportunities will come my way in the future. This isn't attacking her. Being against what she said, which was fuck ICE, which is fuck having laws and shit. This isn't harassing her. This isn't attacking her. Her quoting the Bible at him and him responding with another Bible quote, this isn't attacking. This is all public. And there are some retards that are like, well, why didn't you just go to her DMs? If some fucking retard that I knew was trying to, like, say weird shit to me on Twitter went into my DMs and was like, debate me about your politics, I'd assume they're a retard. Everyone's saying you should have just DM'd her. No, that's the bad thing to do, because that DM can then be extrapolated into harassment since he's trying to take it private instead of doing it publicly. You would absolutely never take this to a private conversation. That's just weird. And so we have one person dropping advanced GG. We have another person saying, I'll be stepping down from Advanced GG after this incident as someone part of the Latin community and one of belief. This is not yet. What? And it's so disheartening to see how divided we have become. I do not support the harsh words. Rev said, that's silly that you said fuck ICE while LARPing from the 1950s. I think that's a silly argument, but that's all he said. And then she quoted Bible at him and he quoted Bible back at her. What the fuck are we doing here? What the actual fuck are we doing? I don't support harsh words. You know what I do support? Making a man lose financial stability. Fuck him. What are we doing here? She was going to say something and deleted it and then wrote and forgot to fully delete it. Happens to you all the time. After a year of being with Advanced GG, I decided to also step down from being partnered with the company and part ways after seeing one of their partners' behavior and views. I don't want to be around that. The way they're treating Miss Lala is heartbreaking to see. Thank you to those who supported my journey while I worked alongside Advanced and giving me such an opportunity. Regardless of how small of a streamer I was, they gave me a chance and will always be grateful. My views, morals, and values will always come first. And I'm sure these three people combined were making Advanced GG about $50. So I have a feeling that they won't even notice that these three people are gone. We need a slur for V-tweeters. V-tweeters is a slur. Like, this is literally a repeat of what happened to me last year. And Rev and Straub also had people try to do this to Advanced GG last year. And Advanced GG didn't budge. Not only did they not budge, I'm pretty sure Rev got a new flavor and his other flavor was restocked. So Advanced GG does not care about these people who do not make them any money. It is very clear. And it's interesting that this tactic is being tried again, because even though it hasn't worked, it's still exhausting to deal with, right? I'm sure Rev and Straub don't like dealing with. I'm sure people at Advanced don't want to hear these people bitch. But it's a good thing that they're not getting removed due to people shrieking over nothing. Over literally not, it was a public conversation. The amount of vitriol and lies that had to be spread about me in order to kick off the crazy campaign to try and get gamer subs to drop me. Like, at least they put a metric fuck ton of effort into their propaganda and their lies to try to get that to happen. This is over a public conversation. This is over literally nothing was even said that was bad. They probably just got an influx of sales. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely got an influx of sales, because this is fucking insane and everyone is tired of these people. And I'm sure some disingenuous retards will be like, well, you guys were completely fine with getting people fired when they were celebrating Charlie Kirk. And it's like, yes, because they were celebrating that someone got murdered and they were wishing for it to happen to more people like Charlie Kirk. Since that happened, I've gotten countless comments from people saying that I should be the next Charlie Kirk. That is like an actual threat and not just mean words. And I get that regularly. And I'm still not going crazy trying to get every single one of them fired from their job. And then there was a fourth screenshot I posted where it's just somebody trying to stir shit saying, you have people who harass other creators as a sponsor. I highly suggest you reconsider your partnership at Advanced GG. Sending a whole community after the sweetest person on earth to the point they needed to lock the replies due to harassment and slinging slurs. Not a good look. You know what's really interesting is when all of these people were lying about me to try to get GamerSupps to drop me, there were some other GamerSupps partners that started attacking me publicly. One of them started adding things specifically to direct people to look at the backlash GamerSupps was getting in his own ads for shilling his GamerSupps code. This person was then later seen responding positively to Bint. So we know how many brain cells that individual has. And it's just like, I didn't try to get him counter-dropped from GamerSupps. I didn't try to say, well, he's spreading lies and further harming the company, so he should be the one who gets dropped instead, actually. I was just like, damn, that guy's kind of a fucking retard. Why would you do this to your own sponsor? And then someone over here, obviously trying to look like they were engaging in good faith, but very clearly were not. I agree with you, Kirsche, but with all due respect, Rev is by no means a small creator. And at this point in his career, he had to have known that making an inflammatory quote retweet like he did would incite harassment against Lala. It doesn't justify ruination, but he isn't innocent here. Actually, he is! Both of them are! Neither of them did anything wrong! She pissed in the ocean, he pissed back. Whenever you piss on Twitter, expect to get replies. That's just how it is. Locking your replies makes people see that as a sign of weakness and they go even harder. Rev didn't, but a lot of other people that disagreed with her did. She made a public comment and locked replies and he publicly responded. The eternal wisdom is don't piss in the ocean of piss if you can't handle the splashback. And a few people have corrected me on the timeline and I don't think it matters that much. She made a public comment. He responded. She locked replies. She responded to him. He responded to her. It literally doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. But clearly, my reply got linked somewhere. Because this guy has 27.7k views, and my reply somehow has 158,000? I don't know how that fucking works. I don't know where this was linked. But under their logic, if Rev replying publicly to Lala constitutes harassment, wouldn't linking my post somewhere else to convince more people to come and swarm me absolutely count as harassment under that logic? It's like, this fucking person isn't getting enough replies against her. Please, my Discord Reddit swarm, come tell this foxwoman how terrible she is. And then this guy who does not deserve another response, so I didn't. Again, I agree with your wisdom, Foxy, but you forget everyone has the option to ignore the idiocy of others, to be the better person. But if you can't bear to ignore it, then there are still better ways to handle things cordially before resorting to petty behavior. She literally tweeted out, fuck ICE. Why should anyone who actually wants law and order in our country choose to ignore that? Like, yeah, they could, but she also didn't have to tweet it by your own logic. She could have just said nothing. She could have said nothing. Rev could have said nothing. We can go on ad infinitum. Neither of them did anything wrong. If someone shitposts at you, shitpost back. There's no turning back. She made a public statement that could have been ignored. She didn't have to make that statement by your own logic, but he didn't. He could have handled it privately or more kindly. No, if he had tried going private with her, that would have been fucking weirder. Again, his actions don't justify the ruination attempts, but it's hard to be sympathetic for a man who took the crude route. The crude route of replying to a public statement? Publicly? What are we doing? What ruination attempt? The ruination attempt on Rev. If you get the balls to speak your opinion, you shouldn't worry about the consequences, right? After all, you have no way of controlling how other people react. I have no idea if this person is defending Rev or defending Lala, because it sounds like yeah, Lala shouldn't have said that if she didn't want to get any pushback. What do you mean? A lot of weirdos in the replies justifying maliciously misusing scripture to make a bad faith argument. Rev is in the right. I just think neither of them did anything wrong. Neither of them did anything wrong. She made a comment about something completely detached from Rev and he decided to involve himself. Your analogy applies more to Rev than Lala. No, it applies to them both. Twitter is the ocean of piss. If you decide to piss in the Twitter, people are gonna fucking respond. That's how it works. That's literally how it fucking works. Him losing a sponsor would be the consequences of his own actions, so it's fine. Like you said, don't piss in the ocean of piss if you can't handle the splashback. So by your logic, I should now lead a crusade for Lala to lose her position as a Twitch ambassador. It's not a paid position, so it's not exactly equivocal to trying to get Rev to lose a sponsor. But I should campaign for her to lose her Twitch ambassadorship, because being against having laws in my country that get rid of criminals who are rapists and murderers is a bad look for someone in the position of a Twitch ambassador. That would just be the consequences of her tweeting out "fuck ICE." By your logic. It's public, everyone can respond, but you should not take it off platform. Yeah, exactly. He would not lose his sponsors for what he said. He's losing his sponsors because of people brigading for it. Why are these people so fucking retarded? Because they can't admit outright that they want this to happen and the real reason they're doing it. They have to try and spin it in a way that they get you to defend it based on your own principles, right? They're trying to attempt to twist you into a logical pretzel, but they're not smart enough to understand it, and they're not intelligent enough to actually address the situation because it's all tribal emotion. Honestly, it's all just degrees of escalation that should have never been started in the first place. According to who? This is fucking Twitter! It's all public! It's all public! Now, if Rev had like a history of specifically harassing Lala, that would be different. If she had blocked him to make sure he can't respond to any of her shit and he was still doing that, that might be different, but that's not the case here. That none of that happened. Then the same applies to Rev. He made a public comment and the public response was to distance themselves from anything having to do with him because his values don't align with theirs. No! No! People trying to struggle session advance GG into dropping him is not the same thing. Simply saying, I disagree with you saying fuck ICE and going at advanced GG, how dare you partner with these people? I can't be associated with these people, and so I'm going to try and throw my weight and I'm going to leave unless you drop these people. That is not the same thing. And trying to equivalate disagreeing in a public conversation to trying to ruin someone financially is an insane position. I wonder why she locked them, because she couldn't handle people disagreeing with her. If you're going to say something political, you're going to have people disagree with you. You're going to have people say ridiculous things in your comment. Misinforming a bit here, she made a public comment, he publicly responded, Rev fans started harassing her. Nope, I don't believe you. People posting publicly on a public post is not harassment. Show me people calling for her death and I'll say that's harassment. You can't say this and then complain when Rev is receiving his splashback in return. No, you know what splashback? All of you retards replying to me. You guys are the splashback of piss, from my opinion, right? If you escalate and you start trying to go after sources of income, that is not receiving splashback. That is you brigading to harm someone that you disagree with. Absolutely not equivalent. And her comment was 2 words, fuck ICE. You know how many people have been saying that? Lamau. It's very known Rev is a huge rat. You know what he's doing. Everybody knows it. I swear every single one of you eat the same glue. Her comment was 2 words, fuck ICE, that a lot of people disagree with. And she's not a political creator, so she was very much not prepared for the amount of people disagreeing with her saying fuck ICE. You disagree with Rev on some things, but he's not a bad dude. This is going way too far. They always do. They always do. And look, more people saying fuck ICE. Your entire body is piss. I mean, I do need to pee right now, so they're not wrong. Sorry, I don't know who you are, but I can't stop misreading your name as Kirk. Ooh, so subtle. Much subtlety. I'm so shocked. Her statement wasn't directed at an individual, but voicing displeasure with a whole agency. That doesn't matter! That doesn't matter! That's, if I went and posted fuck ICE protesters right now, the amount of splashback I would get, it would be fucking insane. I don't think fuck ICE protesters. I think they're fun to watch. I think they shouldn't try to put their life in danger by physically fighting with federal agents. I don't want to see people get killed. But if I posted the equivalent of fuck ICE for the other side, which would be potentially fuck ICE protesters, I get an insane amount of backlash. I don't post that because 1, that's not what I think, and 2, I have the brains to know the level of splashback I would get if I posted that. Lala is not a political creator. Therefore, she was ignorant of how much splashback would be pushed upon her from saying something like fuck ICE. That's unfortunate. Hopefully she's learned to be a bit more presentable with her opinions if she wants to post them. I know some people who cheered on assassinations no longer post their political opinions because they understand, oh, that's a bad look. Maybe I shouldn't do that. She didn't piss in the ocean, dipshit. She just said fuck ICE. This guy can't perceive breakfast so hard that he can't even perceive the analogy that I'm making. You fucking suck, shut the fuck up. Is this the kind of harassment, quote unquote, that Lala was getting? Was Lala getting people just to tell her to shut the fuck up? Because, like, what are we doing here? Nice wisdom that completely voids any accountability from you or Rev or any of your fascist, sympathizing, repugnant culture commentator vultures. I wouldn't say maybe try not being an asshole for once, but you're having an audience and income is predicated on such antagonism. Pitiful. So it's antagonism for Rev to point out he finds it funny that a 1950s LARPing VTuber is against federal enforcement, but it's not antagonism for a 1950s LARPing VTuber to say, fuck having laws and shit. What did he mean by this? Says fuck ice. Entire grifter circle screams about harassment and open debate without acknowledging that the reason replies were locked is because of slurs. I feel like being called a Nazi is very much a slur, you guys. You're literally marking me as a target for death despite the fact that I am not a Nazi. A right-wing VTuber, what a waste of sperm. So you swim in an ocean of piss, which is what you're saying. Thank you, Toby. You are also swimming in the ocean of piss right now. How many people did not understand this analogy? This is wild. Weird way to admit your entire side is piss, but we appreciate the self-awareness. Am I actually talking to, like, underage people? What is going on? Sorry, but other than Rev being a hypocrite with his fiction equals real life thing, which I agree on, by the way, he knows exactly what he's doing, and he knows exactly what the response of his community will be. This shit is on Rev. I think Rev's point was silly when he responded. I don't agree with it, but he's allowed to say it, just like she's allowed to say fuck ice. You're crying over a 2-word tweet, by the way. And you're trying to get someone financially ruined over their response to a 2-word tweet, by the way, which wasn't harassment, and it was public. I guess these are all Lala's fans and watchers harassing me. That's true. That's true. Why does Miss Lala have such a degenerate and dangerous community? Why is Miss Lala's community calling me a Nazi cocksucker and saying I'm a worthless excuse of DNA? Why does Miss Lala cultivate this kind of community and these kinds of people? I didn't even do anything to Miss Lala. I just commented on the situation. And I said, I don't think either of them did anything wrong. And yet Miss Lala's community comes out here and says weird shit to me. If the comments would be coming from the community from piss cunts like you and Rev, they weren't keeping open to begin with. Why is Miss Lala's community calling me a piss cunt? I think Miss Lala has the responsibility of telling the people in her community to not harass other creators. How come she hasn't said that yet? Rev and I always tell our communities don't harass other people. Fuck. I even tell my community don't bring politics to non-political streamers when we raid them on Twitch. So why is Miss Lala not telling her community to not harass people like this? I don't know. That seems kind of weird. Miss Kirsche, Lala had slurs and disturbing posts sent to her. Do you see my fucking reply section here, brother man? That's what happens when you piss on Twitter! Supposed free speech advocate, you, when she sees speech she doesn't like. My post was literally saying both of them are commenting publicly. Both of them are pissing. There was no harassment. I'm literally advocating for free speech. Oh no, not the slurs. Locked replies after Rev's reply, you dork. 14 minutes. How many replies did she get in that 14-minute window that you guys are blaming it entirely on Rev? And not just from people finding her tweet in general. Hence why there's a 14-minute gap between his first tweet and the reply actually mentioning the locked replies. But you're all for bad faith framing. Oh, this is that fucking retard that lies about me all the time. I guess he got banned on his main account. I find it funny how the right moved from being against cancel culture to being the ones doing it. It's literally the same thing. What are you talking about? Rev replying, Lala saying fuck ice, Rev replying to her locking replies, which is a bitch ass move on Twitter, by the way. Nobody's going to see that and say, oh, we should leave the poor little guy alone. They're gonna see that and they're gonna go, hey, look at this fucking retard. They can't handle people disagreeing with them. But Lala probably didn't know that because she's not a political person. She doesn't post political shit. She can post whatever the fuck she wants, but you kinda gotta know the Thunderdome you're entering. Exactly. Kirsche, organizations don't get protection from our First Amendment rights. Rev tried to use his voice to get his community to silence the dissent of another. Stop being fucking retarded for once in your life. So what are you doing? Are you trying to silence my voice because you're posting here disagreeing with me? Is that what's going on? If someone posts in disagreement, they're trying to silence them? That's not what's happening. That's ridiculous. If your thought was logical, I would have shut the fuck up long ago, would I not have? With the amount of death threats and weird shit sent to me? Are you kidding? These people do not live in reality. Leave it to the Nazi who harassed Anna Valens to try and defend fellow lolicon lover Rev says Desu. All she said was fuck ice and the little kid lover lost his shit. You're mad because people want to be morally superior to you. I like how he said wanna be morally superior to me and not actually are. That's a funny way of phrasing it. But also, I'm not a Nazi, and anal violence was the one who harassed me. That's why the articles got taken down. Even Vice couldn't defend them, brother man. And it's wild that some people are like, well, Vice just didn't want to spend the money to go to court. They're fucking Vice, and I'm a cartoon fox. Which one has more money? Which one has better access to better lawyers? Come the fuck on. I know you guys are brain damaged, but try to think. Fuck anal violence. Also, even if you want to be delusional and mark me for death by calling me a Nazi, why are you defending someone that writes about wanting to have rape breeding camps for cis women? Why are you defending someone that used a vibrator playing Fall Guys that has many underage people playing it, and it was touch activated by in-game activities? Why are you defending someone that said they have POCD, which stands for pedophilic obsessive compulsive disorder, leaving me entirely out of it? That's kind of weird, bro. Literal snowflake behavior. Someone made a mean comment on the organization that kidnaps kids and kills legal citizens. So that is an attack on my friend and also an attack on me. What kind of schizophrenia drugs is this guy not taking? Because how did he get that from me saying, if you piss in the ocean of piss, expect backlash? Like, what? How? What?
Your meds, schizo.
What? My audience sent her threats and slurs. No, that never happened, and if it did, boo-hoo. It's Twitter. You know, if someone sends her a slur and she's not used to getting sent slurs, why didn't she just screenshot it, make another tweet, and make a joke about it? She would have gotten more engagement, more money, and looked like less of a coward. You can say what you want, but that goes for people disagreeing with you as well. We should just be able to disagree. And it's again funny that they don't realize this, and they're doing the exact same thing that they want Rev to lose his sponsor for by posting grotesque things in my comments. And it's like, I don't think these comments are harassment. I don't think anything Lala received probably constitutes harassment. Of course, Puerto Rican, not actual patriots. With you on that, sister, for sure. Time to speak. Fuck Miss Lala. I mean, it's equivalent to things I'm getting. Viewership is low, huh? It is the end of the month. Rent's due in a couple of days. I was thinking that when I saw, because there's so many like VTubers and streamers that have all tweeted out fuck ice around the same time, and I was like, damn, I finally understand those rent must be due comments now. Yep, stick to your LARP. You'd be clever not to speak. I guess serving Twitch staff, both IRL and online, is a delight and God's work. Everybody point and laugh at unsucceeded Nepo plant that is gonna tell how important conversion is. I wonder if this guy knows about the fucking Nepo plant game show. I wouldn't recommend it. Sounds rather cold and uncomfortable. A funny joke. But the concept of a 1950s LARP VTuber not being a Nazi. Another retard that doesn't know the definition of LARP. If she was like a 1930s or a 1940s LARPer, I mean, maybe, but a stunning and brave base to know if this is what you mean, but either way, fuck ice. All my homies hate ice. Like, these are normal. Some are agreeing with her too, right? The deportations will continue. What are you gonna do about it? You're going back. These are some people posting like some of the criminal illegals arrested. Louder for people in the back. Fuck ice. More VTubers. Speaking out like this, please. I'm so tired of watching people die in the worst in the sphere saying they deserve it. Like, she's getting far more backup than she's getting backlash. At this point, I can agree before I could talk about mistakes and heated moments, but they stole a Traveler's Native card? What? This is agreeing. Another one. I need ice to keep my water cold. What a vapid and sophomoric virtue signal. Lala being correct. Someone slipped. Lala W. Which ice? That's also a funny joke. Rise up, resist ice. Yes, ice baby. I like my ice crush. Fuck you too. Amen on that, my sister from another mister. I'd be with you if you had this energy all the time, but I can't see this as anything other than an L, because all people do is antagonize people who are trying to do their job, which was a lot easier to do when the figure had everyone who's rioting now like. For what reason? Based opinion, fuck ice, dildo lala, good moros. A lot of rapists, child molesters, and murder enthusiasts in the reply section. Like, where is the harassment? Fuck the MAGA bootlickers who try to defend them. 1.7k likes. Genocide sympathizer. You retards only appeal to your base. Go fuck yourself. Like, these are normal Twitter piss comments. Like, let's go down to like spam. Maybe she got some like real bad shit in the spam. Goddamn bitch whore. Another normal pissing comment. I wish more would say it. Fuck ice. No, fuck you agitators. Lukewarm soda. I'm out. Fuck ice. Can you just do that yourself? Feel terrible for those that have suffered. Where I draw the line is idiots that say they're worse than Nazis. You live in America, right? Cool, because for a minute there, I think we were living in Iran, you know, a country that actually has brought the full force of its military against the citizens. What's their death toll up to? 30,000, 36,000? I have no idea. They've had their internet shut off for like a month now, right? So it's like, I don't see anything that constitutes like actual harassment here. It's just getting pissed on because she pissed in the ocean. Revan Straub's contract just got canceled per her Discord announcement. That's not good. That's not good for Advanced GG. You know how this ends? We saw Crime Boss Crater. Yeah. We're in a pissing contest with scum. Better piss back or lose. I guess so. I guess so. One of the people was complaining that like they got their Advanced GG sponsorship taken away for no reason at all. And then everyone on Twitter brought up the receipts of like, no reason at all. How about you using a slur and encouraging harassment towards Kirsche? And I was like, that's funny. These people literally alter reality around them and then just lie about everything. The sheer number of people who said they were dropping Advance before they dropped Rev kind of shows how big a sponsor he was for them. I wish I could say more based on like my own situation, but like there's some stuff that you just can't say publicly. But yeah, there's probably not a lot of those people who really fucking mattered. And if they actually did end up dropping Straub and Rev after all of this, I don't really understand why. Because they stood by them for multiple days and an onslaught of like all of this nonsense. I don't think it was gonna get worse. You did have some people like trying to throw weight in a different way like this, where like someone who's a YouTube, Twitch, Play Phasmo partner, 27.5k followers here. You know I love you, but this is not it, and I have walked away from companies for much less. You get rid of those two cunts or you lose me and my community. And I think this is a really shitty thing to do. Like, once again, you shouldn't be throwing your weight to try and financially ruin people. Again, this entire situation arose because there was a public conversation. Disagree with Lala, disagree with Rev, disagree with whoever. Write whatever you want on Twitter. It's just an ocean of piss. But why go after them financially? Like, that's crazy. Because it's like, I could do this. I could very much do this, especially considering that I have crazy high, like, return on investment. But it's like, I don't, because I don't want to be somebody going after someone else's form of income. All right? And there's a huge difference between having a public conversation and cheering for someone getting shot in front of you the day before, right? Like, I have not cheered on any of the deaths that have happened in recent years, and the only one you could even call me out on, potentially, is the one that happened in, like, the 1960s from Atoya Yamaguchi. And that was because I didn't want to see Japan turn to Maoist policy. If he had shanked an actual Nazi trying to turn Japan into a white supremacist country, I would have cheered just the same. Japan for the Japanese, man. Undead, thank you. The only thing you remembered about Kirsche cancellation attempt was Rin Penrose and Joe Cat kicking up a fuss and saying they're leaving, only for it to come out their contract was already ending. Joe Cat's contract had already run out, so he didn't even have a contract. He was just lazy in removing the branding for gamer subs. So he didn't even still have a contract when he virtue signaled about that. And keep in mind, all of this happened as soon as I went on vacation because journalists are not real people. And when I came back from vacation, it was the same day as a Penrose stream. And she made like 20 bucks. So I can only imagine her code was not making much money either. Pure virtue signaling. The advanced CEO is saying his brother got fucked up by ICE and is telling people to leave if they don't like his take. Advanced GG Peter, advanced CEO. My brother's story. Could have been Mary, could have been Charles, could have been Claire, could have been me. Not asking people to change their alignment, but I hope your core values don't support what is happening. If you do, please disassociate yourself from my brand. Your move. Still on the fence, just found out my brother, Minnesota-born, 8 years in the military, but can look Hispanic, got racially profiled outside an Asian grocery store in Brooklyn Park, thrown against a car, handcuffed as they shouted racial slurs at him, and told him he didn't belong here, etc. in an attempt to rile him up and hoping he would start something. Why isn't there a recording of this? If ICE were throwing him against a car and hurling racial slurs at him, they should be fired, right? Like, if that happened, they should absolutely 1000% be fucking fired. So, like, where's the video? This is an easy slam dunk case, and you can also probably sue for discrimination, right? So, like, not only easy getting them fired, but easy paycheck, right? You read the tweet and the CEO story. It sounds fake. It sounds like Reddit slop. It does. It does very sound like this is MAGA country. If this happens, they should get monetary restitution, and the agents should obviously be fired. I can't imagine what kind of retard you'd have to be as an agent in the current climate to yell racial slurs at someone you're attempting to arrest. He stayed calm, collected, did not raise his voice, answered their questions, and told them he was reaching for his documentation in his chest pocket before he did it, which is when they cuffed him and threw him against the car. So, I mean, this is like what you should do, except if you have documentation in a pocket and your hands are already up, probably a good idea to be like, hey, my documentation is in this pocket. You can pull it out. I don't know. Maybe I'm retarded, but that's what I would do, right? Because I don't want to move my hand into a pocket and make an officer think I'm about to do something freaky. Bro, this is total bullshit. If this happened, have the cop pull the papers. Couldn't they pull the body cam? Can we get a body cam request on this? They had his passport, veteran card, etc., and then continued the racial slurs and asked how they knew the documentation was real. Then their supervisor came out and told him he was lucky. He was born here. That's the only reason they let him go. Otherwise, who knows where he might be right now? 2 of the 4 of them who ganged up on him had their guns in their hands. Thankfully, he had the wherewithal to take his permitted concealed carry off and put it in his car before he got out when he saw the blacked SUVs outside the store. The blacked SUVs? Hold on, wait a minute. Otherwise, he may not even be alive to tell the story. This is my brother following instructions and maintaining calm composure the entire time. This is not okay. I mean, yeah, I would agree. If this happened, it's not okay. The agent should be fired. There should be monetary restitution for the kind of trouble that your brother was put in. I somehow don't really believe this, though. So I would there be a way to pull the body cam footage? I know Kirsche was trying to get body cam footage from, like, Rakita's arrest. But how do you do that? How do you, like, petition to get body cam footage? Do ICE have body cams? Well, he doesn't specify if it's ICE, right? So is this ICE? Is this HSI? Is this Border Patrol? Is this regular police? Who is the one that handcuffed him, right? He implies it's ICE, but if there was any sort of detainment, we should be able to figure out if there was body cam, right? Considering ICE is followed and filmed constantly, the fact that he has no video leads you to think it's face. Also that, there should be cell phone footage because everyone in Minnesota has been following ICE everywhere. What are the comments saying under the post? Since a guy who used to be in law enforcement supports your community, these guys are facing humiliation, being spit at, people are bringing guns to the peaceful protest. I think you should be allowed to bring a gun wherever the fuck you want. I don't think gun-free zones should exist, all right? I don't think bringing a gun to a protest in and of itself necessarily means you were meaning to do something bad. Things that never happened for 500, Alex. Things that never happened for 1,000, Alex. Were we raising the price? Maybe people shouldn't be actively attacking law enforcement. I also like how your story is full of every possible buzzword. You just forgot him being in the vehicle and being worried the officers would think he was trying to run them over. Incredibly full of shit, and I hope you get investigated for supporting terrorism if you've ever donated to any group remotely connected to attacking ICE. Holy shit. Holy fuck. I don't know what you're going at with this. If this is true, then I'm glad your brother didn't resist law enforcement. That said, there should be a civil case against ICE and the federal government. I'll be waiting for that case number against those agents in the agency. Yeah, right? If you fall for this type of rhetoric, like what's in your comment section, I guarantee that you'll be making a big mistake. If you drop Rev and Straub, you'll hurt your growth and it wouldn't be your fault, but the people who run to cancel others' fault. Don't get political. Yes. One of the things that I mentioned when this was happening to me last year is like, I do like the spread of creators that GamerSupps has. There are people who work with GamerSupps that I either disagree with politically, I don't like the content of, or I just think they're an incredibly shitty, disingenuous person. But my opinions on them do not make me run a holy war against them to get dropped by the company. That's crazy. That's crazy, and I would feel like a slimy piece of shit if I went to any sponsor representative and been like, hey, look at how much money I make you. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna fucking leave if you don't get rid of this person I particularly don't like. Like, that just feels slimy and disgusting to even try and do, right? And I don't understand how other content creators can do that kind of thing and feel like they're a good person, and also doubly feel like that could never happen to them, right? Like, I know I'm not going to see someone get assassinated in front of me tomorrow and then the next day go on stream and cheer about it, because that would be fucking ghoulish. That's not something I would do. I don't have to worry about that. Apparently this is from the Advanced GG Discord. Hey everyone, we know the past few days have been heavy and we want to address this directly. We've completed an internal review and have ended the partnership relationship at issue. We won't be discussing individual details publicly, but please know that our standards are enforced consistently and the safety of our staff and community comes first. We've also seen behavior throughout the situation that does not align with our values. We will be reaching out to those individuals privately and taking action where appropriate. We appreciate everyone who spoke up in good faith and gave us space to handle this responsibly. If you see behavior that violates our rules, please report it in the form of a ticket. Please know that our standards are enforced consistently and the safety of our staff and community comes first. Once again, this sounds like Rev and Straub did nothing wrong, but the crazy psychopaths were threatening our staff. And so we have to think about our safety. And so instead of standing behind people who did nothing wrong, we're going to get rid of them. We're going to negotiate with the terrorists and give them what they want. That's, man. The only reason they would mention the safety of staff is if people were sending in threats. And it wouldn't be people on Rev's side sending in threats. It would be people who are trying to get the company to drop Rev. Ask me how I know. Might as well file for bankruptcy. Do they think either side will buy from them anymore? They have pretty much just fucked themselves. They have absolutely just fucked themselves. Because they're not going to give back partnerships to anyone who dropped them, because they've proven that they're going to just strong arm if there's something they don't like. And they're not going to get partnerships from people who know what's going on, because they know that Advanced GG isn't going to stand by them if someone doesn't like them and starts a holy crusade against them. 22 hours ago was, we want to address concerns that have been raised regarding a partner in recent conversations surrounding Advanced. Advanced does not support extremism or hate. We have zero tolerance for harassment, threats, doxing, or content that marginalizes any community. We're committed to inclusivity, respect, and maintaining a community where people feel safe and welcome. We're addressing recent concerns, including partnership matters, through our internal process. We will not do public callouts or trial by social media. Advanced is not a political platform. Enforcement will be handled privately and consistently. Thank you to everyone who has supported Advanced over the years. And then, I guess at 4:18 p.m., they said, we completed our internal review and have ended the partnership relationship at issue. We won't be discussing individual details publicly. Our standards are enforced consistently and staff and community safety come first. You hope Rev and Straub have legal recourse. You're sick of innocent people getting hurt by these freaks. You look forward to AGG declaring bankruptcy. Maybe they could do something with tortious interference, because it is interfering with a contract, and again, literally nothing happened. So I'd be interested in seeing if they had recourse. They would have to retain a lawyer, and lawyer fees are not cheap. Sounds like they want to offload Rev's merch by saying they supported Rev and Straub and then pulled the rug when everything was sold. If true, that is an incredibly shitty thing to do. Right? Like, making all of that money off of them only to, like, fucking kick them to the curb. Day when we were going through like some of the retards I was responding to on Twitter, you guys asked me if I like saw some guy who was talking about me, and I was like, I have no idea who this is. And then like after stream, somebody had like linked me the reply that guy you brought up had made, and he was like a 200,000 follower account being like, do you have any idea how wrong you have to be for me to get involved? And I was like, oh, I had no idea that was supposedly some big fucking guy. That's hilarious. He's over here throwing around the, don't you know who I am? And I literally had no idea who he was. I was like, oh, the gay voice actor guy? Yeah, that one. I was like, oh, literally no idea who this guy is. a shitty person the moment they defend Asmongold or Rev. They don't call her KKK Kirsche for nothing. Well, the only people who call me that are people trying to be a dick to me, right? Like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Anyone got the details on what she's talking about, what Rev did or not do, and what did Lala do or not do? Edit. For anyone who's unaware, here's some links. Lala tweets, fuck ice. Rev quote tweets it. He appears to be making the implication that the politics of the 1950s were worse than today. And so for her to have a 50s themed character but hate ice is somehow hypocritical. He says hypocrite in a follow-up. He said she was a hypocrite because she asked for a conversation but she locked replies. Again, I think his argument was stupid. I don't agree with his argument, but again, Twitter is the ocean of piss. So you can kind of say whatever you want. Lala responds, the tweet being, quote, in the screenshots from the post, she calls him and his community out a bit. From this, I get the gist. Lala expressed her opinion on ice. Rev decided to respond by being an ass. Like, honestly, his opinion is so fucking dumb here. Again, it's Twitter. I don't agree with his argument. I think it's silly, but he's able to say it. That's not harassing. His fans are being incredibly rude, so Lala locked the comments. He calls her out for doing so. She asks why he has a stick up his ass. Lala is not a political creator. It's not a personal attack to make fun of her for locking replies. That is what happens to anyone who locks replies. That is you have locked replies, people now make fun of you. That is just how it works. I don't even know how many people were in Rev's audience, or if it was just political brain rot being like, haha, you locked replies. Right? Like, come on, man. Reddit is a cesspit of the dumbest people on the internet. Who gives a dead moose's shit? Yep. Ultimately, dude is a drama cow who makes drama and politics his entire personality, riles people up with an either pointless shit, or attacks anyone that seems to disagree with him politically after having fostered an audience who will also do so. Hey, so that's really ironic, considering Lala tweeted fuck ice, which is a statement meant to rile people up. Additionally, if you are claiming that Rev's audience harassed Lala, once again, the same logic applies. If you want to say anyone who criticized her is from his audience, thus he was harassing her, then everyone trying to get him dropped from his sponsor is from Lala's audience under your own logic. And going after a sponsor is certainly worse than any kind of silly comment. So if he loses money because he's starting shit, particularly to people like Lala, I say it's kind of deserved. Freedom of speech, not freedom from consequences. How do they post this and not comprehend that it's the exact same thing for Lala? She is free to post fuck ice, and people are free to say whatever in response to it. If they were sending her death threats, that would be a problem. If they were like wishing rape upon her, that would be a problem. Those are things that get sent to me frequently. I didn't see people saying that to her. There were 30 out of 91 negative replies. 3 got made after Rev retweeted her post and she closed her comments. I was gonna say, it's literally 14 minutes between Rev quote retweeting her and her locking her comments. 14 minutes. That's not a long fucking time. And the fact that you're even saying there were 30 out of 91 negative replies and only 3 got made after Rev retweeted her post, that means someone with an immense amount of autism went through that post to get those numbers. That's crazy. The Bible quote retort from the weird lolly cosplayer is really funny, not only because does Jesus push back, don't care about the rest of this comment. Lala quoted the Bible at him first. Why are we taking umbrage with Rev quoting the Bible back at Lala when she quoted the Bible at him first? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. I'm sure some people are gonna try and turn this into like I'm being against Lala, but like I'm genuinely not. She can say fuck ice, and Rev can say whatever silly shit back. Like this is crazy. They have selective memories. It's just wild. It's just actually, Rev is a neo-Nazi, Kirsche is a neo-Nazi, and Lala spoke against ice. Neither of us are neo-Nazis. I disagree with the fuck ice sentiment that Lala said. I also disagree with the argument that Rev had, but both of them are allowed to say that on Twitter. This is wild to me. How is this a thing? How has this become a thing? What the actual fuck? Makes sense, Kirsche is a piece of shit. Bro, people on the right are the biggest cry bullies to ever exist. Nothing happened here. Nothing happened. Attempting to throw weight in order to strike fear into companies to bend the knee to you is shit cunt behavior. Besides from the Charlie Kirk stuff of going after people for simply not liking him. No. I don't care if someone doesn't like Charlie Kirk. I care if they're celebrating that he died. That is fucking weird. That is fucking strange. Didn't she do this like 2 more times, going after both Vice with the threat of lawsuits and that Crime Boss game for sponsoring her? Capitulating to the mob is not cancel culture, right? Like if I'm going after a company for lying about me, that's not cancel culture. That's the company being held accountable for spreading lies about me on a massive platform. Talking about the game that dropped me by listening to the rabid mob trying to do harm to me, also not cancel culture. That is defending myself. Congrats, you played yourself. People will constantly say that I like had my community go after Crime Boss, but I explicitly stated, if you didn't buy the game, don't leave a review. If you bought the game because of me, if you think this was a bad decision, change your review. Once this got covered by other creators much larger than me, I can't control that. I can't control what other people do, man. Welcome, Raiders. How dare you go after Vice after they slander you? How dare you defend yourself from our lies, you Nazi? The fact she's getting salty over people using their rights to affiliate or not is laughable. Do they really think we're so retarded that we don't understand the tactics that they're using?
Yes.
Do they honestly think that we should be praising them due to our principles of, oh, they just merely don't want to associate with Advanced GG. They're not trying to throw weight. They're not trying to strong arm Advance and dropping anybody. It's just merely them cutting ties because they don't like someone. Yeah, that's not what's happening here. And we literally have a tweet showing that's not what's happening here. My Oshi is a neon light. Words are spells today. Yeah, words are literally spells. You mean to tell me that Kirsche is a hypocrite whose only consistent moral is to make her other morals inconsistent? I'm shocked. It's not inconsistent to not want to defend people who want me dead, brother man. Given her track record, it does not surprise me in the slightest she came to Rev's defense. I don't even agree with his argument. He's just pissing on Twitter, like Lala was pissing on Twitter. This should have been a literal fucking nothing burger. I don't like Rev and the people in here like Wawa, don't go for his sponsor, it's a company and his income, are glossing over the fact that this guy has dodged consequences for years now. If you think he's dodged consequences for years now, why not bring up the things that he should be held accountable for and not him just having a conversation on Twitter? Like, come the fuck on, man. Come the fuck on. What are you talking about? He's a racist Republican cultist. That's very ironic. Very ironic from these people. Consequences, our weapons. Yeah, because they don't have anything. Literally have nothing. I'm not going to argue with the lukewarm brain cells that his and Kirsche's supporters have, because they're all IV line-fed the government outlook. And even if you send clear proof of video that the ICE agent wasn't run over and Alex Pretty wasn't resisting, where are you getting this video? Because that's not what the video I've watched from multiple angles shows. What video are you watching? Did you like make another AI video with some headless ICE agents? Is that what we're going on here? They'll just parrot anything that comes out of Gnome, Trump, or Vance's mouth like it's gospel. Rev consumes media portraying minors inappropriately, defends people who does the same, defends ICE murdering American citizens because it's their job, and was the one who put himself in this exchange because Lala didn't direct her tweet at anyone by name. Lala posted a public tweet publicly. Anyone is free to comment publicly. Locking your replies makes the backlash bigger. Not just from Rev, just from any fucking person seeing it. What did they mean by this? It's funny since I can remember both Kirsche and Rev flipping out when any company puts out any pro-diversity or pro-LGBT statement, and they call for boycotts and putting pressure on the companies. Just saying I'm not gonna buy this company's product is a lot different than you must drop this person or I'm going to drop this company if you don't get rid of this person. I didn't even pressure that when fucking I didn't like that, what's his name? That guy that partnered with Bud Light when there was the huge boycotts going on. Kirsche and Rev are grifters. They have no real morals or values. The only thing actually sacred for them is money. That's why making them lose partners and sponsors is the only thing that would actually bother them. That's really funny that these are the same people who will like cry over illegals being deported because they want them here to be able to leech more money off of the welfare system. But yet they have no care that we might have people that we're taking care of, right? It's like, fuck us, I guess. Pippa is gonna sink herself if she stays friends with that terrible orc that is Kirsche. You know, that's really interesting that in just a few years, her community went from like relatively normal to basically asking for my head on a pike every day. That's very interesting community switch. Capitalism working as intended, but you're not sure what the intended business acumen is, isolating 50% of their potential consumer base, left versus right, because of a Twitter spat and angry screeching. I also don't know. I think as a company, you should be staying politically neutral, which means you're not going to get rid of the leftist people. You're not going to get rid of people on the right. You only get rid of people that are actively asking for violence, calling for violence, trying to do violent things, right? Things that could actually be illegal. Remember when Kirsche got shit for associating with the right-wing VTuber Pippa? The good old days. I remember the good old days. Now I'm just an easy scapegoat for everything. Let's see. Neo-Nazi VTuber defends fellow neo-Nazi? Well, we're not, but you know, okay. I'm glad the Fox is deciding to help her fellow SS officers. I'm surprised Nux hasn't chimed in. This person's been checking if my code still works. That's crazy. That's crazy. I literally had a liberal tell you we can't blame minorities for committing crime because it's not something they choose. It's a result of things that happened before they were even born. Yeah, I'm glad that you pointed out saying that minorities are just unable to not commit crime is racist as fuck. Like, I was just rendered speechless. That is one of the most racist things I've heard. Holy fuck. Also, that's crazy. This guy down here, once again. Sorry that happened to your brother, but knowing how evil ICE can be and not immediately removing these bigots from your affiliate program is a very stupid decision. Do you actually care? Are you looking for sympathy now that your actions have blown up in your face? That's literally the guy that is racist towards white people because he thinks that they can't be racist too. Imagine actually dehumanizing people and then daring to call anyone else a bigot. This sounds fake as fuck! Thank you, Sean. Kaio talking about bigots. He's also racist against Latinos. Why? What does he have against Latinos? Him calling people bigots when he is one himself or implying Latinas are all illegal. That is always going to just strike me as crazy when they're just like, how could you not be against ICE? You're also Hispanic. And it's like, that's crazy that you would expect everyone who is a Latino or Latina to be anti-ICE. That's a wild thing. This guy wrote a literal fucking manifesto. What is this? What the fuck is this? How am I on your mind to the point where you write that much shit? Isn't she a Nazi simp? Oh my god. You know how all of this could have been prevented if Rev shut his lolly-loving dumbass the fuck up? You know what? You know how this all could have been prevented if Lala didn't tweet fuck ICE? Just a reminder that Mari_en and Filian have collaborated with Kirsche more than once. You know, it's funny. It's funny they bring that up because the other thread that was made at the same time. I really like Filian. She's one of my favorite VTubers, but I recently saw a post on Reddit talking about how she's collaborated with Kirsche, who's apparently a neo-Nazi. I didn't hear about the Kirsche drama until that post, so I don't exactly feel comfortable watching or supporting her if she's actively collaborating with them. But here's my question. What's the status of her relationship with Kirsche at the moment? Does she still collaborate with Kirsche? Is she unaware of the drama? Yesterday. I know nothing, but I blindly believe Kirsche's a neo-Nazi Reddit idiot, apparently. Pretty much. I haven't watched any of her streams, nor seen any uploads from her with Kirsche in them recently, which is why I'm asking. Filian's been gone for like 4 fucking months at this point, hasn't she? Like literally 4 months of like just non-activity. Also, I'm unsure if this subreddit is the correct place to ask this question. I mean, any subreddit would be. Everyone on Reddit thinks I'm some sort of like reincarnation of Hitler for some reason. Beginning of December. Yeah, it's been a couple of months. She openly admits to pirating her model and knowing that has made merch of the stolen model without the knowledge or consent of the person who made the model. Filian actively associates with Kirsche. Just 3 months ago, she played the racist game Ethno-Guesser with her. I love how everyone's trying to apply like this Ethno-Guesser thing to me when I got it from Sheena. Like that wasn't even like my original idea, Donut Steal. I'm like getting stolen valor here, man. Smugalana, and in years past, she's parroted edgy jokes like goose stepping with a German marching song when it came on in a React video, and saying the chat was breathtaking, mentioning George Floyd. I didn't know about that. She also worked with a Ukrainian company to host her VTuber awards, who later dropped her like a hot sack of shit when she collabed with 2 Russian VTubers and declared her proud Russian heritage. I don't think that happened. I think, wasn't it like a Russian VTuber raided into Filian and she like acknowledged the raid? Like, I don't even think there was a collab, right? Yeah? Yeah, that's crazy. Why is ethno-guesser racist? That's also a good question. Fillion has only been gone since early December. The snackers only have a collective brain cell, have been unable to solve the ARG. I don't know. Time feels like an enigma to me, so like 2 months could be 4 months, who knows? All of that said, she has never overtly echoed any hateful rhetoric or dog whistles and leans heavily into being dumb, loud, one who hurts herself doing tricks. Out of sheer benefit of the doubt, I think she's relatively harmless, but I will never watch her streams or videos collaborating with Kirsche or Smuggalana, nor will I subscribe to her. And yes, Kirsche is a white supremacist chud who's actively spreading misinformation regarding ICE shootings, talks up white replacement theory on the I've literally never even said those words. Absolute scum. In what way am I a white supremacist? Like, that literally does not make sense to me. I have never said that, like, white people are superior to other races. I've never even implied that. I think this is, like, what I posted on Twitter. Kirsche's mom hooked up with a guy and within a week got swastikas tattooed on her breast at his prompting, but according to Kirsche, she isn't even racist. I don't know how you take a joke about me pointing out that my mom is a retarded woman who will do something as dangerous and destructive as get swastikas tattooed on her for a guy that she's dating because she's never hated the Jews and she's literally renting a room to a black friend. My room, by the way. So it's a two-pronged joke to show that she's a shitty mother and a shitty person who's easily manipulated. I don't know how they managed to turn that into me supporting my mom, saying she isn't even racist. Like, what? It's not even understanding humor, it's just completely misconstruing everything to turn me into a bad person. Search the Cure Mom files by Kirsche on YouTube. Really funny thing. It is a really funny thing. It is a really funny thing, and I can tell that no one here has actually watched it. Well on record disavowing your mother. Yeah, my mom is an incredibly shitty person. The thing that boggles you is that I'll tell a story a lot, and it's easy to find, but they just straight up ignore it. Oh yeah, of course. I mean, Kirsche always says, I'm not racist/transphobic, but I don't think I've ever said that, actually. And proceeds to say something hateful. I'm not actually sure what people like that think racist means since they clearly don't recognize it. Racism in her mind is saying white people like her are racist and consequently ostracizing them? No, being racist is being racist. It's when you hate someone or think someone is lesser than based on the color of their skin, right? Like that. Like, what are we doing here? Like, it isn't a loop that Kirsche's mom is a piece of shit and she wants to be as far away as possible from her. I hate Redditors so much. True. How is Ethno-Guesser a racist game? It isn't really racist conceptually, but the optics of playing it with Kirsche, who's an avowed white supremacist, isn't great. That's not true! I'm literally not that! Plus, for the game itself has outdated and unreliable sources, including Nazi eugenics and Scramble for Africa-era phrenology. How would you know this? How would you know this? Work could be done to make it more accurate and better reflective of reality, but then you'd still have to ask why someone would want to gamify identifying races, or why someone would want to play that. Wouldn't it be interesting to learn about the nuances between different races, though? Right? Like, wouldn't it be interesting to learn about exactly what makes someone in one area different from another person like 2 kilometers away? Right? It's just interesting. It's interesting to see the differences that have been passed down through generations that make each area of people unique. I think she's the Oprah of VTubing. That's a funny way to put it. Can I call her Oprah when she comes back? Don't listen to the people on this thread. If you like them, watch them. Kirsche isn't a neo-Nazi, but she can be pretty stupid at times. I mean, I can. That's just unavoidable. Sometimes I have the dumb, sometimes chat has the dumb. You know, we go back and forth. I don't want to actually write out how ridiculous I find your complaining, so please just downvote me as if I had made fun of you for choosing to whine about entertainment figures you aren't being forced to watch. I'm not complaining, I'm just uncomfortable supporting someone who is friends with someone like Kirsche. Bro even admitted to never watching any of my content and only getting his opinions from other people. Like, come the fuck on, man. At least be like that other person who's like, yeah, I don't really like Kirsche. She could be stupid sometimes. Like, at least be like that guy, right? Kirsche isn't a neo-Nazi. Her mother dated a Nazi and she hated him. She's also no contact with her and has called him retarded several times for his views. I remember being upset as a teenager because I couldn't invite a bisexual male friend of mine over to our house because my mom's neo-Nazi threw a hissy fit. I'm like, literally not a decent person. If you're looking for real answers, you're in the wrong place. The subreddit is nothing but an echo chamber filled with people who believe that if you do not agree with their point of view, you're a Nazi. You can watch Fillion without caring about who she streams with or talks to, because you're there for the entertainment, not her personal life. True and real. There are some snackers that are just like, yeah, I just don't really think Kirsche's amusing, so I just skip the collabs. And it's like, yeah, that's That's cool. That's your prerogative, bro. I'm confused. Is Kirsche actually a neo-Nazi, or is she just totally ignorant on political issues and seemingly quite blind to the truth? Blind to the truth when I just look at video and read shit and use my eyeballs? I usually like to keep certain things separate. We have neo-Nazis, and then we have useful idiots. Most right-wing content creators are what I call useful idiots. They think they can recite the spell back.
You dare use my own spells against me, Potter.
They're just largely ignorant, lack a higher level of literate ability, and are thus easily susceptible to propaganda that appeals to the lowest common denominator because nuance and facts are too advanced for them to comprehend. They're not really hateful, but they believe in conspiracies that make them inherently fearful for themselves and those closest to them. Neo-Nazis are somewhat smarter people who make good use of their useful idiots. This is some crazy levels of projection. Kirsche's closer to fascism and white nationalism than actual Nazism. In what fucking world? In what fucking world, brother man? What the fuck? From what I've researched, by the way, she's done things like spread neo-Nazi beliefs, believes in the Great Replacement Theory, and so much more. I'm also currently watching a video about the Kirsche drama as I type this. I'm doing a bit more research on the Kirsche drama because of the comment under my post that suggested to try and form my own opinion. And in it is a clip where Kirsche says that Muslims are trying to replace our cultures with their own just because a mosque is/was being built in the UK. Keir Starmer literally said that's what happens. He literally said that the UK has been an experiment on mass immigration and it is a failed experiment. What else am I supposed to take from this comment other than the politicians have admitted that they tried to experiment with mass unchecked migration in order to transform the culture of the UK? What else am I supposed to get from that statement? Kirsche is a he, that's right. Oh, what? Kirsche's a man, when did that come out? Is he not? I swear I saw a clip with Kirsche's model and a male voice. This guy says I'm doing research and he's that fucked. Kirsche is a she. Where did I get the male voice from? I don't know, bro. I guess I wasn't entirely paying attention to that part of the video. Holy fuck. You're mistaking Kirsche for Rev, says Desu, who's another alt-right grifter VTuber. Rev wishes he had titties this big. No, he doesn't, but still. Is it the part where she talks? That's generally what I mean by just being useful idiots. I can more so believe, as Kenyu Mac says, she's more aligned with general fascism and white nationalism than she is with actual Nazism. It's not better, mind you, but it is two somewhat different ideologies under a similar umbrella. These guys are having, like, unironic conversations about how much more of a Nazi or more of a white supremacist fascist I am, when I am literally none of the above. Like, there's actual debate conversations going on about things that aren't real. What is happening? She said, and you can look this up, self-proclaims to her full chest that she's the Alex Jones of VTubing. No joking. Yes! And what is Alex Jones? He is a clown who says funny things. Hero Sword, thank you. No wonder these morons believe wild stuff about you. One of them says a lie and then another idiot goes, no way, really? Have these people ever practiced skepticism in their lives, not just automatically believing their peers? Every time I see something like this prop up now, I just think of the fucking UK propaganda game where looking for more information was unironically considered a bad thing. And then of course they link the fucking Reddit thread with all of the lies in it that I have debunked multiple times. Like, just so many fucking comments. Oh, some hidden. Kirsche isn't a neo-Nazi and Fillion can associate with whoever she wants. Kirsche is a full QAnon believer and a full propagandist. She isn't far from a neo-Nazi, as that just depends on what conspiracy she feels like that day. Chat, how many times in the past 8 years have I said that people who believe in QAnon are fucking retards? I have never said a single good thing about anything QAnon related. That's crazy. Also, thanks for the compliment that you believe I'm intelligent enough to be a propagandist. That's kind of neat. How is it possible to be wrong about literally everything? It's wild to read these Reddit threads because every single person is so far outside of reality that it is just astounding to me. You can not like my opinions, but like, holy shit. Kirsche isn't a neo-Nazi, or isn't a Nazi, neither a neo-Nazi, so it's all good. And OP says she isn't? I was just misinformed. He was literally calling me a Nazi! like a few posts up here. What do you mean? That's where he misgenders me. She's done things like spread neo-Nazi beliefs. What the fuck? OP, what are you doing? She still has some beliefs that I don't agree with and I feel is enough to dislike Kirsche as a person. Sorry for late reply, didn't see this until now. Sure, you can not like me and you can disagree with me, but like what the fuck happened? At least he's not gonna call me a Nazi. Dislike me all you want, just don't lie about me, that's all I care about. She said, both mine and Rev's contract with Advanced GG has been terminated. The whole thing was honestly very confusing and stressful, but I won't be going into details. Very disappointed to see this be their final decision. I wish them the best despite them hurting me the way they have. I know she's trying to be the bigger person here. I would absolutely not say that. I would absolutely 1000% not say that. It's amazing how they decided to sever your contract because a bunch of brain damaged idiots don't like you and your husband. You may wish them the best, but I can't say I'm going to say the same. That is actually insane. Actually insane. And I'm sure there's going to be people doing victory laps on this as well, right? And it's crazy how a company can claim they don't stand for harassment, but will let this slide. I'm pissed, but I can't let it get to me. Can you address my argument instead of appealing to ad hominem? Nothing will advance if we keep insulting each other. This person said, no, I don't debate with people who don't believe in basic healthcare and human rights. What do you mean don't believe in basic healthcare? God doesn't love you. Hey, Advanced, I don't think this guy needs to be partnered with you. He has some very hateful views that disrespect a ton of your consumers. You're stupid, hope this helps. Well, I mean, yeah, Advanced basically just put out the signal that it is fucking open season. Like, them capitulating like this means it is complete open season on anyone to try and get anyone's sponsorship with them dropped, simply because they say things that they don't like. So this is going to create a literal holy war of people going back and forth being like, you need to drop this person and we're gonna crusade you until you do. You should drop this person. You should drop that person. Here's what this person did. Like, it's gonna open a huge can of worms. They want to vague post, but they terminated me and Straub despite their request that I, quote unquote, keep this private. I will be uploading my side of the story soon. Don't worry, Advance, there is no need to share private or confidential info. I will only speak to public information since your indecisiveness and hypocrisy has allowed this to become a public matter. Not to mention, there are multiple partners in your company who have been harassing me and my wife, and we know you've been aware, and they are continuing to do so in the quotes of this response you made. Meanwhile, I never harassed anyone. You supported me and monetized me, and as someone who is unapologetically real and unfiltered, until the hate mob of unreasonable people became too much for you. You bend to the knee. Enjoy the new audience. And he has the screenshot here that says description, pre-order item shipped separately in 10 to 12 weeks. Loud, fearless, and unapologetically real, Rev says Desu embodies everything the Senpai line stands for. Shaker 3 captures his raw energy and unfiltered personality, blending anime-inspired chaos with sleek design. It's more than a shaker, it's a statement piece for those who never hold back. That's a pretty resounding endorsement of them. That video is gonna go pretty fucking hard. We'll see when that releases, because I definitely want to watch this. And I feel like, unfortunately, Advanced GG is going to very much reap what they have sown. They have now pissed off not just the crazy, insightful, hateful people who are trying to get Rev dropped for literally no reason. Again, this was a public conversation, nothing happened. But now they're going to lose all of the business that their biggest creator brought in, and they're going to open themselves to a lot more blood in the water, both from the side that wanted Rev gone. Now they know they can bully Advance into dropping any creator that they want them to. But also people that supported Rev are going to see this and they're going to use the hypocrisy against Advanced with every reason to do so. Why would they not pick at every single creator that Advanced GG has and find any of them that's ever made any kind of inflammatory or incitement remarks and try to get them dropped from Advanced? Like this is going to be like an apocalyptic situation. They should not have backtracked.